Howdy everyone, I'm Stefan with Interstate Guns, and today I'm going to be taking a nerd dive into optimizing a semi-auto system for use with a suppressor. Before we get into the weeds, we need to first cover some of the common operating systems present in semi-auto systems. The two big ones are going to be direct impingement, DI for short, and piston systems. Inside piston systems, you have long stroke, which are AKs, M1 Garands, and the PW piston line of AR-15s. Short stroke systems are found in the SCAR lineup, MCX, HK MR556, and more. Piston systems typically favor better with suppressor users as the gas needed for cycling the system is forward of the action, keeping the gas out of your face. For the remainder of the video, I'm going to be going over tuning a DI AR-15. To start, let's go over how an AR-15 functions. Here's the quick anatomy of the bolt carrier group. We have the bolt with its gas rings, the carrier itself with its gas key, the cam pin, the firing pin, and the retainer pin. When a round is fired, the projectile goes down the barrel, gas is vented up through the gas block, into the gas tube, into the gas key on your bolt carrier. That gas pressure pushes on those gas rings on the bolt, pushing the entire carrier rearward on the cam, unlocking the bolt, then allowing the entire carrier to cycle under the gas pressure. As the bolt unlocks and is pushed in its forward position inside the bolt carrier, the rings pass forward of these two vent holes, and any excess pressure left inside the bolt is vented out through those holes. On piston system bolt carrier groups, these holes are not present because they're not necessary for function. This delay in the bolt opening is critical not only for function, but for safe operation. If this function weren't here, you'd have an out-of-battery detonation as the gun is cycling and firing, resulting in an unsafe firearm. Now that we've gone over the basic function of an AR-15 direct impingement system, when you add a suppressor, you're increasing the duration of pressure on the system as a whole. Typically, this will have the action opening faster, with more gas still inside the tube and the barrel. This will result in an overgassed feeling. Because of the way this firearm functions, this is the biggest disadvantage of the AR-15 platform with a suppressor because you have this tube pointing directly into the shooter's face. There are plenty of methods on slowing the system down, and we'll start with some of the easiest and cheapest methods of doing this. The first upgrade I recommend is the buffer. This is the buffer tube, this is the buffer weight, and the spring. Adding a heavier buffer weight will decrease the amount of speed that the action can open up because you're adding mass to the system as a whole. Most AR-15s will come with a standard H-mark buffer. These are ideal for most 14.5 to 18-inch barrels, and an H2 buffer will help improve cycling with a suppressor. For the shorter barrels, I recommend an H2 as a starting point, and an H3 is typically what most shooters gravitate towards once they get used to their system as a whole. In front of me, I have the Sons of Liberty A5 buffer system. This is a longer buffer and buffer weight, and they're using rifle springs. This is going to help with the recoil impulse by having a longer stroke. It's going to help with the dwell time because not only are the buffers starting as a A5 H2, which is heavier than an H2, it's a longer stroke overall. It's going to help reduce that recoil sensation as well. If you have multiple AR-15s and you're feeling a little squirrely, you can take apart a buffer and strip it down to its base components. Inside an H buffer, you will have two lightweights and a single heavyweight. If you want to switch over to an H2 buffer, you can just reduce one of the lightweights and replace it with a heavyweight. If you've got a third buffer that you can play with, you can take off one of those light ones and put in a third heavier weight to make an H3 buffer. If you're looking to swap the entire buffer weight assembly as it stands, you can just push down on the buffer retainer pin, swap out your buffer, and put in a second one in a matter of seconds, and this can be done in the field. Buffers, depending on weight, are typically $20 to $50 each. The next upgrade I recommend is an adjustable gas block. There are two main strategies to these adjustable gas blocks. One, physically blocking the gas port hole on the barrel, or venting off the excess gas through the block itself. I prefer the adjustable ones that vent off the excess gas instead of blocking off the port. This will help out with parts wear over time. These adjustable gas blocks range from $50 to $150 depending on manufacturer. The one that I've been using for some years now is from Superlative. These are ranging at $99. If messing with adjustment screws and a hot portion of a barrel isn't your jam, another method is an adjustable bolt carrier. I really like the ones from Bootleg because it doesn't require any disassembly to adjust and can be done through the ejection port with a screwdriver. You can do it with a casing, but it's extremely stiff. With its 4 settings, shooters can quickly adjust their gassing for both suppressed and unsuppressed shooting. The Bootleg adjustable bolt carrier group is $209.95. The last upgrade I would recommend is a piston conversion kit. I've been rocking the Superlative kit for years and tens of thousands of rounds. I'm using this conversion kit in an unconventional way where it is a mid-length gas system on an 11.5-inch barrel. Superlative does not recommend this setup as the pressure curve is more of a spike than it is a slope. In this configuration, the adjustment screw at the front of the block has failed twice due to that excessive pressure buildup over the 7 years I've had it. That being said, Superlative's customer service is top-notch and has fixed this for me twice under warranty at zero cost. With this setup, because I'm stubborn, they will not warranty it for a third time. That being said, their customer service has been fantastic the entire time. For a system of this length, they recommend a carbine length gas system. For the conversion kits, they are $289 without the bolt carrier guts and $389 with a Toolcraft DLC-coded bolt assembly. These are a to-be-ordered item as there are various gas lengths, gas journal diameters, and attachment methods, including a clamping style or a screw style, which is more common for AR-15s with a dimpled barrel. If you'd like to know more about these upgrades, stop into the shop so we can best help you pick out the components to optimize your AR-15 for a suppressor. Thanks for joining me into the Geek Talk for a little while about tuning your AR-15. Leave a comment if you're running any of these components and let others know how it's treating you and your suppressed experience on an AR-15. Thanks for joining me in Geek Time. Catch you next time.